11Alive News starts now.
Thank you so much for watching 11Alive Plus. I'm Kaitlyn Ross. We want to get you straight out live to Italy, where alpine skier Lindsey Vonn is giving an update on her condition. She will ski in the Olympics.
Not necessarily a great test. I still need to do the downhill training run. But I also know what my knee has felt like with previous injuries in the gym and what it's felt like during all the physical tests, and I can say that I feel a lot better right now than I have in the past. I feel a lot better right now than I did in 2019 for the last World Championships. And I still got a medal there with no LCL and 3 tibial plateau fractures. So, like I said, this is not an unknown for me. I've done this before. I wish I wasn't in this position, but this is where I am, and I will do the best I can. And of course, like you said, I need all my coaches, and Axel is someone that I've leaned on throughout the season, and he knows the position that I'm in as well. So I think that'll definitely help me and give me confidence when I'm standing in the starting gate.
We're just going to use the microphone, please. So,
Hi, Lindsey.
Yeah, you can go.
Cara Banks, NBC. I'm sorry to hear this news, as I'm sure as everyone. Given the latest developments, which races do you still plan to compete in? Is that schedule unchanged? And what's your plan for the training for downhill, given there's 3 days to choose from?
I don't know yet. I have to take it day by day. My goal is obviously right now the downhill. I have to see how it feels. If it's stable and I feel confident, I'll continue to race. That is my goal, obviously. But I can't tell you that answer until I actually ski 85 miles an hour, and then I'll tell you.
Hi, Lindsey. Savannah Sellers with NBC. You've spoken in the past about your fear of regret, like when you came back to the sport initially. How much of that feeling, that fear, drives this right now, the opportunity right in front of you to ski here in Cortina, and to regret missing that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a week away from something that, well, first of all, I never thought was possible. So this is all icing on the cake. I never expected to be here. I felt like this was an amazing opportunity to close out my career in a way that I wanted to. Hasn't gone exactly the way I wanted to, but I don't want to have any regrets. You know, I'm here. I'm still here. I think I'm still able to fight. I think I'm still able to try, and I will try as long as I have the ability to. I will not go home regretting not trying. I will do everything in my power to be in that starting gate.
Can you pass it to him? Thank you.
Hi, Lindsey. Alessandro here. Here.
He's right there.
Oh, sorry. Jesus.
If you had to put a number, like if you were 100% before the injury, from a scale to 0 to 100, how would you rate your fitness at the moment?
I mean, my fitness is 100%, but that doesn't mean that my body is 100%. I can't give you a percentage of that. I mean, I'm still strong. You know, it's only been a few days, so if you're looking at scientifically, you don't lose strength that quickly. So as long as my swelling is down and my muscles are firing, my strength is what it was a few days ago.
Lindsey, Amanda from Swedish newspaper Aftonbladet. How was it for you when you got the results about the ACL? And are you in any pain? Will you be skiing on painkillers or shots? Or?
Nope, I'm not in pain. It was painful initially after the crash, and which is why I had concern, which is why I went via helicopter to the hospital. I had a feeling it was bad, but I held out hope until I saw the MRI in front of me. But I haven't cried. I have not deviated from my plan. I've been determined, and you know, normally in the past, there's always a moment where you break down and you realize the severity and of things, and that your dreams are slipping through your fingers, but I didn't have that this time. I'm not letting this slip through my fingers. I'm going to do it. End of story. So I'm not letting myself go down that path. I'm not crying. My head is high. I'm standing tall. And I'm going to do my best. And whatever the result is, that's what it is. But can never say I didn't try.
Lindsay, over there. Thanks. Savannah Hamilton, CBC. In a recent, media piece you did the Players Tribune, you said that you're still a girl from Minnesota that loves to ski. And I think there's nothing that that showcases that than skiing off course. When you think about representing your country, especially your state, what does it mean right now, with everything going on in Minnesota, to be the embodiment of the word hope?
I mean, I have family and friends in Minnesota. It's where I grew up, and my heart is incredibly heavy for everyone at home. And I realize the magnitude of the position that I'm in right now. And I think the best thing I can do is to do exactly what I said: stand tall and have hope and show the world what America is, who we are as people, because we're more than what's happening right now. We are so much more than that. And the best thing the best thing I can do is represent us well. And it is a privilege to be here. I don't take that lightly, and I always do my best to make our country proud, and I hope I can do that in these games.
Hi, Lindsay, Swedish television. Can you describe the feeling of going up there today? Were you anxious, nervous, or just excited to be able to actually try it again?
I mean, every time I get to go on the mountain, I'm excited. And today was, I was full of hope and excitement, and I was happy that I was in the position to even try, and I was even happier when I was finished because it felt really good. And my team is smiling. We're all very hopeful and all very optimistic.
Thank you.
Just incredible news there from alpine skier Lindsey Vonn, saying that she will compete in the Olympics after rupturing her ACL. Astoundingly, she says she's not in any pain and she wants to give it her best shot. If you want to continue watching this news conference, you can just toggle down on 11Alive Plus and watch that live. We are all hoping for Lindsay and cheering for her so loud. That is incredible that she's going to fight through that injury. Oh, my heart just goes out to her. I had knee surgery. Listening to her say that is just really, really difficult. But good news there that she's going to give it a try. And good news here in Atlanta is that we're going to try for some sunshine, Chesley McNeil.
Yes,
we're going to try.
Yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. We're like Lindsay, man. We're just warriors.
Right? It does feel like warriors after the past 3 weekends of miserably cold weather.
Yeah, you just endure to get to the other side. And that's what we're going to do. That's
we're
what
on
we're
the
going
comeback.
And we're going to feel a little bit of it today. It's not going to be the sunniest days by any stretch, but because we'll have clouds overhead. But it will be nice as far as the temperatures go. Temperatures will be warming up as we head into the afternoon. Today, getting up to 57 degrees for an afternoon high. We'll hit that between 3 and 4 o'clock. Looking at some rain coming in later on tonight. I'm thinking after 6 o'clock, we'll start to see some raindrops move in. Light for the most part, and it may add up to about 1/2 inch. We could use more, but we'll take what we can get. That rain is building now back off to the west. You can see it over into eastern Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and now into Mississippi. Eventually get into Alabama, and eventually we'll get over toward us as liquid. Not the frozen stuff. We're not worried about that. You notice that southerly push coming in from that area of high pressure down to the south. That's what's going to help to boost our temperatures up because, again, we're not going to see a whole lot in the way of sunshine, but it will help us get up close to 60 degrees for today. Forecast track model shows that rain right there on the back doorstep as we head into the 6 o'clock hour. That yellow that you see in there is moderate rainfall. A lot of that falls apart before it even gets in here. And so you see where we have the light showers around scattered. And it will stay that way through the overnight going into Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning will be an wet commute for us. And I know it's unfortunate or just a nuisance, but we need it. Drought conditions over our forecast area is keeping us on the dry side, so we need that rain. We'll see it finally clear out as we head into Thursday. We'll get the sunshine back into the area by then. Going to give it a 60% chance for tonight, 40% chance for tomorrow with the isolated showers around at least through early afternoon. We are down about 1.75 inches for the year so far. We should be closer to 5 inches of rain. We're just above 3 inches for the year so far, so we need some. You see the drought monitor there. We don't want those areas of gold. I'm calling them gold. Would you call that gold?
Golden.
Okay, there you go. So gold And then those red little circles there, we don't want that to grow over our area. Those are severe and extreme drought conditions, so we don't want that. 7-day outlook shows temperatures will dip somewhat as we head into Thursday. Got a front that's going to pass through. Will drop us back down to the 40s for highs. It's going to be on the cool side, but we rebound quickly. Friday, back up to 57 degrees after a 30-degree start, and we'll hold on to that sunshine through the weekend, getting up close to 60 degrees for the high temperature on Super Bowl Sunday. So that will be superb for us.
Super. I love to see that 60 degrees, man.
And it's going to be nice.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
There's even some hints of 70s coming our way as we head into next week. Dare I say.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Before you go, though, Mr. Eagles, who you got in the Super Bowl?
You know, nobody.
Nobody?
Let me tell you something. Nobody's talking about this Super Bowl.
That's true. I haven't heard a ton about it.
Nobody's. See, I mean, okay, you got a West Coast team.
We've
obviously.
been talking about it here on the stream.
No, you haven't.
Yes, we have.
No,
yeah,
no.
last week,
There's
Dan and
no,
I, we've been
storyline.
talking about the cost. We've been talking about
the
about
cost,
the business impact.
The game
womp womp.
itself. Nobody's talking
True.
about it. You're kind of sick of the Patriots.
So
and
sick
Seattle,
of the Patriots.
you don't feel one way or the other for them. They won one, I think. Before then, they were a terrible team. So it's like no heroes in it. There's no superstars. There's Bad Bunny. That's it.
That Bad Bunny is going to be exciting. And I got to say, I'm rooting for Seattle.
Really?
But mainly because I'm sick of the Patriots.
Right. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Despite
saying.
my brother-in-law, because he is a huge Patriots fan. Sorry, Jake, if you're watching, I apologize.
Wow. Yeah. So hopefully it's great ratings because it's on our air.
Yeah, right?
But nobody's talking about it.
All right.
Yeah. So
Hot takes with Chesley McNeil.
I'm out.
I like it. All right. Thank you so much, Ches.
No
We
problem.
really
Take care.
appreciate it. We appreciate you bringing the good news.
Absolutely.
Have a good one. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. This next story is one that I cannot stop thinking about. This has been such a horrifying situation. Savannah Guthrie's mother missing. Her home suspected as a crime scene. Nancy was last seen on Saturday night near her home, and investigators believe she now may have been abducted. Maribel Gonzalez is in Tucson, Arizona, with the very latest for this desperate search.
Savannah Guthrie was supposed to be in Italy covering the 2026 Winter Olympics, but instead she is here in Tucson, Arizona, assisting and helping local law enforcement in their massive search for her 84-year-old mother.
This isn't somebody who wandered off.
Taken from her home in the middle of the night against her will. That is what Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos believes happened to Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie. The 84-year-old woman was last seen Saturday night near her home in the Catalina Foothills area near Tucson, Arizona, where investigators say she lives alone.
It's not often that It's never really that we see somebody in the middle of the night in their safe home environment in bed all of a sudden disappear.
A family member reported Guthrie missing on Sunday after she failed to show up to church. Homicide detectives were dispatched to the Guthrie home where they found what they call concerning evidence. Law enforcement declined to say whether any evidence from the scene indicates Guthrie was hurt.
There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature.
Search and rescue teams, including volunteers, dogs, and Border Patrol agents and helicopters were dispatched to help. The search becoming more urgent by the minute, as investigators say Guthrie takes daily medication that is critical to her health.
The family told us she couldn't go 50 yards. That in and of itself is a concern.
Now, investigators say video surveillance could be critical to aid in their investigation, and they're asking the public to check their cameras for any footage that could be helpful. Reporting in Tucson, Arizona, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Thank you so much, Maribel. That is such a scary situation. We're going to continue following this on 11Alive Plus. We'll bring you the very latest as soon as we hear it. Here at home, people in Jonesboro will no longer face jail time for possessing small amounts of marijuana. Last night, the city council decriminalized the possession of the drug. Those caught with less than 1 ounce of marijuana will face up to a $150 fine, but no jail time. That's instead of the previous $1,000 fine and 180 days in jail. So that is a huge difference there. Councilwoman Chesley Kearney put forward the ordinance. She said one reason was to free up police resources and focus on more violent crime. She also wanted the city to be in line with Clayton County. The county decriminalized the drug in September. The punishment in Clayton County is also a $150 fine, so you can see that they're lining up there in their policies. Joining us now to talk about the decriminalization of cannabis is advocate Erin Jimenez. Erin, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. So you just heard about what's happening in Jonesboro. Can you give me your reaction as an advocate for cannabis when you hear that they've decriminalized possession of the drug?
Yes, of course, I'm always excited to see progress with the plant. But I do want to highlight something that one of the council people actually who spoke against it mentioned. She said that it creates confusion and consistency matters. I would definitely echo that, actually. That was one of her points that I really agree with because Jonesboro is the 22nd municipality in the state of Georgia to decriminalize. So at this point, cities and counties are kind of dragging along our state and its leaders towards progress, which should definitely not be the case. So I really hope to see Georgia catch up soon.
So you're talking about the policies there and the different ordinances that are being passed. At the state capitol, Senate Bill 33, that's called the Georgia Hemp Farming Act. Can you tell us your concerns with that bill?
Yes. So a lot of the arguments that we heard in favor of it last year were that all the regulations are needed for specifically Delta 8 THC products. But when SB 494 was passed a couple of years ago, that actually set in place like a 21 plus to purchase regulation on all consumable hemp products, which includes Delta 8 THC. It also implemented full panel certificates of analysis to make sure that you know the potency and that what you're getting is a safe, clean product. So I rebuke those arguments in favor of it. All it would actually do would be limit the amount of Delta 8 THC to 0.3% by dry weight, just like the traditional Delta 9 THC is already.
A lot of really specific facts and figures there that you're talking about. Could you kind of zoom out and give people who might not be familiar with this more of an overview about where Georgia stands, especially in comparison to other states that have legalized the drug?
Absolutely. So in the state of Georgia, you have hemp and you have the medical marijuana program. The difference being that hemp is classified as the exact same plant. The only difference is it is 0.3% of the traditional Delta 9 THC that most people think about when we just say THC or less. Other than that, is this same plant. It can do a lot of the same things. So there's a lot of confusion amongst, well, what is a hemp product? What is a marijuana product? When you zoom out even further from Georgia at the federal level, there's a lot of conversations going on about, well, how do we regulate intoxicating hemp? Because wouldn't that just be marijuana at that point? There is a lot of muddying of the waters by politicians who don't exactly understand what we're talking about with the plant. And then you have people who are just frustrated that are trying to use the plant to relax, for pain, for relief from all kinds of ailments. And it's making it really hard for them to navigate these laws and understand, well, what I'm doing today may be legal or not, or depending on tomorrow, it may not be. So there's a lot of confusion at the state and the federal level right now, which is why I would ask that the state would hold off on making any laws regarding hemp this year until we determine what's going to happen at the federal level, because we are facing a potential federal hemp ban as of November 12th of this year if no moratorium is put into effect.
So it's interesting that you talk about the confusion, because in the capacity that I've covered it, it's been with medically fragile children who use the cannabis oil as a medicine. And so they can get access to it, but it's still illegal to transport it. So it seems like there's not one blanket policy that protects people who are using it for either medicine or, like you said, for recreation, but it's a little bit gray where they stand.
Absolutely. And we have to navigate that on a day-to-day basis. When in all reality, people are not interested in talking about, oh, well, 0.3% is fine, but if it's 0.4% by dry weight, then they don't care about all that. They only care about getting relief and having access to a plant that we actually have a whole system in our bodies dedicated to consuming. It's called the endocannabinoid system. So you actually have receptors in your body that are able to bond with these cannabinoids, and that's how you feel the effects from them. We also create our own cannabinoids within ourselves. They're called endocannabinoids rather than the phytocannabinoids from the plant. So people are really just interested in relief from the confusion and from all the other things.
So you're a cannabis advocate. If you look at other states who have legalized marijuana, what benefits do you think that offers, and what have the states seen in return?
Yeah, of course, everyone loves to talk about tax revenue, but we also see a decrease in crime because people aren't being penalized for a plant. Now, one issue that was brought up by the person who spoke against at the Jonesboro meeting last night was the fact that you have confusion with drug-free workplaces. Since cannabis is still federally illegal, jobs are still able to test people for THC. That's even in California. So even in states that are completely legal, if they don't have laws on the books to get rid of things like that, then you can legally purchase a joint and smoke it over your weekend away from work in a very responsible way and show up on Monday and be drug tested and lose your job. So until things get cleared up at the federal level, even states that are doing it well in terms of what they can do on the state level with progress in this area, they're still hands tied at certain points. People are still struggling. People are still being discriminated against at different levels. So we need to do a better job at the federal level for sure.
What do you think comes next here, both on the state and federal levels? What are the next steps that people should be watching for?
So in Georgia, we're still fighting against some of the anti-hemp legislation from last year, but at the same time, they're also talking about increasing the potency of the medical program, for instance. So those are two factors that you can watch here in Georgia: protect hemp and also help the medical program help people. On the federal level, we're seeing the rescheduling of cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. That is movement. Of course, we always want to see descheduling happen, but that's another conversation. And then also, you're looking at the potential federal hemp ban. So, if a moratorium is not put into place, we're looking at losing a multi-billion-dollar industry and hundreds of thousands of jobs across the nation if that goes into effect November 12th, 2026.
A lot to watch there. Erin Jimenez, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we want to take you back out now to Italy, where we're hearing from alpine skier Lindsey Vonn. She made the bombshell announcement that she will compete in this games after rupturing her ACL. Let's take a listen.
Or closest thing to this injury that I've ever experienced, but in a lot of ways, I think 2019 was far worse than what I'm dealing with right now. So yeah, obviously I have experience dealing with it. I know how to manage myself. I know how to manage my energy and the swelling and physically what it takes to be able to push through and to persevere through these circumstances. But I don't know, concussion was just a concussion. It was fine.
And we have another one. Have you received any feedback from other skiers after your injury? And if so, what was it?
This injury? Oh, no one knows. I haven't told anyone. I like to keep my stuff, to myself. And I will say I really appreciate that everyone had patience and letting me kind of take my time to process what's happened. But today is the first day that I've really shared the news with anyone outside of my family and friends.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Along the line of, back here, from Salt Lake City KSL, along the lines of your talking about mentorship, Mary Blowcock is Salt Lake City, grew up, born and raised there. Do you have any opinions on her racing?
Mary's awesome. She actually let me borrow her poles this morning. No, she's full of energy, and she has this amazing personality. She's always witty and quirky and funny, and she has a great attitude. And her results this season in Super G have been amazing. And her sister obviously is skiing so well in the technical discipline. So another very talented family from the Utah Salt Lake area. Unfortunately the Masugas aren't here, but Lauren and obviously her sisters are all incredible athletes as well, and her brother. So there's a lot of talent coming out of Utah, and of course I'm a resident of Park City, and been living there on and off since 2002. So it's a great place to be. Obviously with the Olympic facilities, and now that we have the Olympics in 2034, I think we're going to have a lot more athletes coming through there, and hopefully developing well because of the infrastructure and facilities that we're able to provide them. Hang on to your chewing gum. My mom would always say that. No, I think enjoy the experience. Keep your eyes wide open. Try to soak it all in. This is an incredible experience, and there's a lot of pressure, but it's still just a ski race. So have fun.
Go ahead, Drew.
This is your 5th Olympics. I'm just wondering what you think about this new style of Olympics. Spread out. The men skiing in Bormio, the ice sports are in Milan. There's events all over Livigno, 5 hours away. Maybe you just got here today. I'm wondering what it feels like, and what do you think about this new idea?
I mean, I'm in Cortina, so there's really nothing to complain about. I'm very happy being here. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, but it is sad to not be, closer to more of your teammates, not just in ski racing, but in any sport. I think from an athlete perspective, Salt Lake City was my favorite Olympics because we were all so close to each other. Almost everyone was in the Olympic Village in Salt Lake, and this is quite different. It's like I would love to go to Milan to the opening ceremonies, but it's 5 hours away. And I know a lot of the girls were talking about wanting to watch hockey, but it's difficult. So I think they were doing an amazing job and trying to keep everything organized and running smoothly, but location of venues, you obviously can't choose that. It's geography and where the mountains are, but I think it would have been more fun if we're all closer. Yeah.
We have one more question. Time for one more question. Anyone? Yeah, go for it.
At the last race where you were injured, it seems like there were some weird comments at the start after your crash, and it looked like you commented on some of that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that reaction to your situation?
Like right now? Or in 2019?
No, and Montana.
Oh. Yeah.
Good.
I have to say I was disappointed. I thought it was poor sportsmanship from a lot of people that I care about. You know, anytime that athletes are injured or crash, it's not good. And when FIS or the organizers say that it's not safe to race, we as racers have to trust that. And yes, I know there are high emotions, and everyone has worked very hard to be in a position to compete in that moment. And it's sometimes hard to contain those emotions, but I was deeply hurt by what was said. And some people apologized to me, and I appreciated that, and I accepted their apology. But I think in general, it was disappointing to hear what was said, especially on live television.
I'm gonna call the girls in now. Sierra will join us as well. And I have, so in order to prioritize Lindsay's recovery.
All right, we were just hearing there from Lindsey Vonn, the storied alpine skier who says she will compete in this Olympic Games even after rupturing her ACL. Just a tremendous amount of grit there. She says she feels strong, she feels ready, and she is going to take on the Olympic Games. We'll be right back. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kaitlyn Ross, filling in for Dan Kennedy. We have been following all of the news coming out of Atlanta, Italy, the world this morning. We have had so much to talk about. Lindsey Vonn, storied U.S. skier, is going to compete in the Games even after rupturing her ACL. We went to Jonesboro, where we heard about a new ordinance that decriminalizes marijuana. We are talking about the Tara Baker murder trial. This is a really important trial, 2 decades of a cold case that we are following all day. But right now we want to take you back to Milan, where we're hearing from the U.S. women's alpine ski team.
Can do that too, and it's cool that I feel like we help elevate each other, and having Lindsay back crushing it, setting that tone, I feel like all of us, it really helps elevate and inspire us as well. So it's cool to be a part of a team like this. Yeah, I mean, as being a part of a few teams, I'd say this is definitely one of the strongest I've ever been a part of, and it's been really amazing to see, the progress that everyone's made throughout the summer. Like, we were just working together and building off of each other, and in the races as well. We all know where we stand and how hard we can push each other, and I think when one of us does well, it elevates the whole team, and we're all doing well. So it's incredible for me to see and for me to be a part of this amazing success as a team.
And for some of our younger gals down there, one thing about this team that's pretty extraordinary, I think, is just how supportive that they are of each other, especially in such an individualized sport. We've seen them do lots of fun TikToks and social media, things like that. So maybe Mary and Keely, can you kind of speak to how you keep that team morale high and even get some of the veterans to get in on some of your TikToks?
Yeah, we spend way too much time on TikTok, I think, but it's been really great having Mary. It's kind of a new addition to our team. She brings a lot of energy and just really good vibes, and yeah, we've been trying to put out some TikToks already, but it's been interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I would say we love, it's nice to have such a wide range of ages on this team because there's so much wisdom to be given to me. I love how you put that. But there are so many different also personalities too, and I think it's fun to have such a big mix because we all can come together and complement some things that the other person might not have, or different characteristics and qualities of each other. And so I think it's really great to have so many girls with such great depth and such a wide age range.
Yeah, and Breezy, maybe you can speak to what it's like to have that range of ages and lots of different personalities, I think, but I think you guys all feed off of each other very well, especially when you're going into races and training and all the time that you spend together.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together. I think that, we try to build off of each other and, bring what other people lack to help make the team better. And, we've long had a very strong women's speed team. I think all the veterans can attest to that, and I think we've, for a long time, gotten along really well because I think we really focus on trying to make each other as good as we can, and we know that if we can, rising tides lift all ships, and so, yeah, it's great having a lot of personalities and really trying to vibe together.
And do any media have questions for the team as a whole before Lindsay exits here? I have a question for Breezy, if that's okay. You couldn't compete in the Olympics in Peking, and now coming back to Cortina, where you hurt yourself. How is that going to be a happy end at the end?
I think that it's a definitely very big full circle moment for me. I think, there have been a lot of emotions. It's been a dream 8 years in the making and a career even longer than that in the making. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of unfinished business out there, and I'm going to go out and try to ski as well as I can and hope that I can make something of that.
We have a question online from the Salt Lake Tribune for Lindsay and Breezy. They say, how does this team compare to those team USA has had in the past? Is this the best ever?
You want to go, Breezy? I think so. I think that we've had a lot of really amazing teams and we've gotten along really well in the past, and I think if you would have told me in 2018 that the best was yet to come, I don't know that I would have believed you, but I do think that this team is both the quality of our skiing and the vibes that we bring to each other on and off the hill are the best that I've seen.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I can say that there are multiple people in each discipline, not just speed, but overall, that can medal at any time. Not just today, but the whole season. We've seen that several times this year in multiple disciplines, and normally it's like the speed team's doing really well, and maybe the tech team's not doing well, or vice versa, but literally the entire U.S. women's ski team is dominating, and I think we're dominating the World Cup standings still, so
yeah, we're still leading by.
Fun statistic. Yep.
A question for Breezy. I mean, you're the reigning world champion, also world champion in team combined. In these Olympics, I saw it in Cortina, you made a couple of top 10. Looks like it's not your favorite track. Can you tell me, how do you feel? You feel like a medal contender or a outsider, dark horse?
I mean, I think Cortina has been some of the place with some of my fastest skiing. It was my first top 10, but it's also been one of the places that have had some of the biggest mistakes, obviously culminating in the crash before the 2022 Olympics. So I know that I can ski really well here, and I feel really good on this hill, but I also know that Cortina, it looks really pretty, but it will bite you in the ass. So, I just have to put that all together and, balance that well.
All right, we're following the absolutely incredible news that Lindsey Vonn will compete in this Olympic Games after rupturing her ACL. I'm in the streaming studio with producer Reems, and we heard this together. Reems, I think both of us were shocked when she said, yes, my ACL is ruptured. Yes, I'm going to compete. What was your take?
Yeah, I was, she's hurt her knee a lot. I was expecting, hopefully not that bad of news. Good thing to note here, she did come out of retirement for this. I would not be surprised if this is going to be her last Olympics. This is going to probably be her last professional races these upcoming weeks. That if she can muscle through the pain, let's muscle through the pain. Let's potentially win another Olympic medal and then get some surgery after the Olympics as you go back into retirement again a second time.
Yeah, the fact that she came out of retirement for this race and then this crash happened is just so heartbreaking. And I think that's something that has been so hard as people who are fans of the sport and who watch her are grappling with. And then she comes out and she says she's going to race anyway. That is pretty incredible grit. It's one of those Olympic storylines that I think people love to follow and watch, just hearing the tenacity that these athletes have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of Team USA, they're all ready to go. Cheryl's over there as well. This is the once in a lifetime experience for many of them. I know there's a lot of repeat team members, but for a lot of these athletes, this is their one chance to compete in the Olympics. So outside of even just some of these ones that we follow, the Lindsey Vonns of the like, Alana Meyer-Taylor from here in Georgia, our one Georgian that we will continue to follow relentlessly. A lot of these athletes, this is their one chance to have this experience. So, and with Lindsey as well, this being her 5th Games, she's going to want to stick around for as long as she can.
Right. And you make such a good point there about, obviously we follow Alana Myers-Terrell or we follow Lindsey Vonn, but most of these athletes, this might be their only shot at this. They're competing on their own dime. They pay for their own transportation. They pay for their own training, their own coaching. I mean, this is an exercise in heart, and just seeing these athletes show up and compete is really incredible. I love that we have Cheryl Preheim over there. You've had a chance to really talk to her as she's traveled, as she's over there. What are you hoping to hear from her behind the scenes?
Well, I've heard about her pasta so far.
Yes.
Her coffee so far. I mean, if you're not following her on social media right now, that's where all the action is with her right now. As she's getting ready, she's joining us. We've got these segments that she's been preparing, that she's been sharing every day here on the morning show. We showed part of that earlier on the 9 o'clock hour. Lots going on. I'm most excited for, how widespread this Olympics is. This is not just a host city where everything is in one place. We're talking 2 hours between Milan and Cortina. There's 2 Olympic torches this year.
Wow.
And Cheryl's going to be all over the place, experiencing it all, bringing that all to us here on the stream. I'm excited for her just to shoot me the text message of, hey, can I hop on in 5 minutes to talk about whatever's happening? So there will be some of that. There's just going to be, it's that behind the scenes, here's what the athletes are feeling like, that you will get on watching the events on 11Alive, but also just that extra local angle on all these stories, how our viewers here, how we as fans of these athletes and of the teams can kind of find new ways to build relationships with these athletes.
I love that. And I actually interviewed someone who is going to the Olympics to volunteer. Amanda Wedekamp is a mom from Cobb County who says she's always loved the Olympic Games. She loves exactly what you're talking about, Rames. She loves those personal stories. She loves hearing from the athletes. She loves the trials, the triumphs. And just following that also closely is something that she said she felt inspired to go see in person. So she applied 2 years ago to be a volunteer at the Olympic Games. She was selected. She's going to be in the hockey rink. She said she's going to have like a little radio. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so exciting.
I would love to do that. It's getting the time off to do that.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? If you reported back, maybe you could do a little double dip in there.
Hey, the Olympics are here in 2028, bosses. Also, as Lindsay was saying earlier, so we have LA for the Summer Games in 2028, and then Salt Lake City has 2034.
Woo!
So the Winter Olympics are coming here in just 8 years as well. So a lot going on. And speaking of spread out that we were talking about a second ago, the LA Games. Most things happening in LA, but softball is in, oh, it just escaped my mind. Ohio?
Oh, what? Wait, what?
Missouri?
Softball?
I'll have an answer for you.
I was going to say, yeah, we
My
have
brain
to
just
research
blanked.
this.
It's not in LA.
That is insane. Yeah, we need to research this because we need to find out how far away it is. I thought it was interesting during that news conference, Lindsey Vonn was saying she wanted to go watch the opening ceremonies, but she's like, that's a 5-hour round trip. So she couldn't go because it was so spread out.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is a flight. It's not even a drive.
Yeah, softball back for the first time in a couple Olympics. It will be in Oklahoma City.
Why?
They got the venue there. They have the space for
okay.
it. The U.S. Softball Hall of Fame complex is there. They've got a bunch of world-class stadiums. So it's one of those things where if you followed Olympics over the years, every single games and a couple of years after, there's the reports of how much
it costs.
It costs,
Yeah.
and the stadium's not being used. You look at Rio in 16, so many of those stadiums have never been used afterwards. Sochi in 14 for the Winter Olympics, the same thing there. London was the first one in 2012 to really start trying to figure out how to repurpose it. Paris did a great job of that. Last year, Tokyo did a pretty good job as well. That's why Milan and Cortina are so spread out, because most of those venues are being reused. And then in LA, why build a dozen professional softball stadiums in LA when you can go to Oklahoma City on a flight and have everything you need there?
So that could be your ticket in, Rames, because I'm sure we'll have Cheryl out in LA, but like we need somebody in OKC now.
I used to cover softball in college.
See, that's cool. Yeah. I think you could do it. I would love to be a volunteer. I think that would be so much fun.
Let's do it. Let's take a quick break.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We want to take you straight out to the Tara Baker murder trial, where the prosecution is presenting the case on the 2 decades old cold case. Let's listen in.
Dr. Falzon, let's start with State's Exhibit 23.
Yes.
What is that, sir?
It's a clear plastic box with a label marked with the case information, and it's marked fingernails left hand.
And would that be the fingernail clippings that you took from Ms. Baker's body on January the 20th, 2001?
Correct.
Move to tender State's 23, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
State's Exhibit 24, Doctor, what is that?
It's a clear plastic bag sealed with evidence tape. There's 2 clear plastic boxes, each one with a label with the case information. One is marked toenails right, and the other one toenails left.
Again, same question as before. Are those related to the autopsy that you've been describing this morning?
Correct.
How do you know that, sir?
Each one has a label on them with the decedent's name, Clark County, the age, race, and sex, and the unique case identifying number assigned to this case.
Move to tender State's 24, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, ma'am. I won't have any objections to any of those outside of the objection I already put on the record.
All right, thank you. Number 24 is admitted, and you may proceed, Mr. Bolden.
State's 25, Dr. Falzon, what is that?
25, it's a white paper envelope sealed with evidence tape, and the label with the case information, and this one is marked oral swabbings B.
And again, same question. Is that related to the autopsy that you performed on Ms. Baker on January 20th, 2001?
It is.
Move to tender State's 25, Your Honor.
All right, and based on Mr. Cruz's assertion, is that right, sir, that there's no objection?
Outside of my prior objection.
All right. Then it is admitted. Thank you. And that's number 26?
25.
25. All right, 25. Thank you. Go ahead.
State's Exhibit 26. What is that, Doctor?
Same white envelope with evidence tape and the unique case identification information, and this one is marked oral swabbings A.
Move to tender State's 20. Now I've forgotten. 26, Your Honor.
26. Mr. Cruz, any objection, sir? All right, it is admitted.
State's Exhibit 27, Dr. Falzon. What is that?
White envelope, red evidence tape, label with the unique case information, and this one is marked rectal swabbings.
Move to tender State's 27.
Mr. Cruz, any objection, sir?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
State's 28. What is that, Dr. Falzon?
State Exhibit 28 is a brown cardboard folder, has a label marked with the unique case identification information, and this one is labeled anorectal swab.
Move to tender States 28.
Any objection, sir?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
States 29, Dr. Falzon, what is that?
29, again, is a cardboard folder with the unique identification label, and this is marked auto swab.
Move to tender States 29.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
That was 29, yes.
29, is that right, Dr.
Yeah,
Falzon?
yeah.
Okay, good. States 30, what is that?
30 is a white cardboard box, again marked with the label with the unique case information, and this one is marked vaginal smear.
Move to tender States 30.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
States 31, what is that, Doctor?
A clear plastic envelope with the label with the case information, and this one is marked known pubic hair of victim.
Move to tender States 31.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am. The same objection I put on the record.
All right, and thank you. Any further comment by the state? All right, I'm going to overrule your objection. Your objection is noted. It is admitted over objection.
States 33, Dr. Falzon, what is that?
33 is a clear plastic envelope marked with the case information, and this is the pubic combings of victim.
Move to tender States 33, Your Honor.
Mr. Cruz, any objection?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Is that everything that I handed you?
Did we do 32?
Oh, 32? Did I skip that? I apologize. States 32, I got ahead of myself. What is States 32?
Clear plastic bag marked with case information, and this is marked known head hair of victim.
Move to tender States 32, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Cruz?
No, ma'am.
It is admitted.
Really difficult testimony there. We're covering the murder trial of Tara Baker, a 2 decades old cold case. She was a UGA first-year law student when she was found dead inside her apartment. 23 years later, DNA evidence found a suspect. Now that suspect is on trial. We've been following this all morning along with other really important breaking news. We have information on cannabis hearings in the state. We have information on a measles outbreak in South Carolina. We have been following the latest on the Tara Baker trial, on the suspect in the Gwinnett County officer killing. We're learning more about his background. We're going to have much more on that on midday with Faith Jesse. We're also celebrating Black History Month. We had a really beautiful story from Joe Ripley talking about the importance of all of the artwork, revitalization on the West Side, honoring the people in our history who have done so much. We have so much important news to bring you. Midday is next. We want to make sure you stay tuned right here on 11Alive Plus. If you want to continue following any of this live, you can just toggle down on 11Alive Plus to keep watching. We make sure that the news never stops here at 11Alive.